Hi everyone, hope all you guys are doing good and keeping well. So, unlike the last topic which we covered about retention policies, this whole complete set of videos I'm preparing within these sequences, specifically talking about retention holds and all these stuffs which are mailbox specific and are being much more important when it comes to the compliance level. And when we talk about compliance level, yes, so definitely retention is the most important key aspect, and hold is also one of it. So starting off with it, let me introduce you all guys to myself. So my name is Rizwan, and I am one of the senior consultants working here with Alif Consulting. And let's quickly get started with these holes and the holes which are being operational or supported with Office 365. So when we talk about holes, we have different types of holes in over here supporting in Office 365, and as the word itself says, hold, it means to hold on something. And when you say hold, it is probably not going to allow you to delete it in simple format. Okay, when we say hold, yes, you'll definitely be able to move your emails, but when we speak hold, it is specifically about deletion. So why to stop deletion? Why? Because there is simple, the answer to that is simple answer, that it is being put to hold. So unlike it, we have these four major holes which are being configured within Office 365, and each one of their job or the final action would be set would be pretty or less the similar one, which is to retain the data, not allow the content to be getting and deleted. Because if you would go with these options, these four options, irrespective of, even the user would think that the user has actually tried deleting the items or deleting the data from his or her mailbox. But no, to this compliance level hold, a specific storage container would be given into the recoverable deleted items, wherein these items would be kept intact, and yes, the items would never get deleted till the time the hold is not removed from them. Okay, so now we'll start with litigation hold. What does litigation hold means, and where does this get supplied? So this is again, as said, it's hold. So you can apply litigation hold on the entire mailbox. So this hold would just enable, or would get enabled on the mailbox, and it would be getting and applied to the complete contents of the mailbox, including your default items, your default folders, your customized folders, your mail items, your notes, your calendar events, calendar entries, and everything. Now, what all, for how long you can get this enabled? You can get this enabled up to unlimited number of time. You can get this enabled for 1 day, 2 day, 1 year, 10 year, 50 years, 100 years. So this is the litigation hold duration. Okay, so there is a hold duration. So let's say if you enable the hold for 2 years, so till 2 years the emails would be put on hold. And after that, if someone's trying to delete the contents within the mailbox, as the administrator or the user using the mailbox himself, so that content would get started deleting after 2 years. So when I say he'll not be, once the hold would be there, so it is not the situation where the items are not going to get deleted. No, the items are going to get deleted uh, from the user's perspective, but yes, they are going to get stored into the recoverable items folder. So unlike we have inbox sent items, there's one more hierarchy called as recoverable items, which has 5 folders within it, and that data is actually going to get stored into that container, that is a non-IPM subtree. So when we talk about mails, we have two sub format structures: IPM subtree and non-IPM subtree. So in simple language, whenever whichever items you can see into your Outlook client or your webmail, like inbox, sent items, and all those folders, which items you can see through your eyes, your naked eyes, that is called as IPM subtree. And the ones, the folders which are not, you cannot see those folders normally within Outlook or in webmail, those are called as non-IPM subtree. And to access that content, you can either get it done through PowerShell, or there's a third party tool called SMFC Mappy. So that is just about getting the access to the data which is being put to hold, and it would be same in all these four types of hold. The second hold which comes into the into the pipeline is in place hold. So unlike litigation hold, you can apply or place this hold, the in place hold, for the entire mailbox, or you can place it on some queries. Let's say if you need to run a query that I'd only like to apply this hold only for calendar items. So only the hold, whichever there would be calendar items, only for that the hold is going to get applied. Let's say if you only want to get it applied for emails, if you only want to get it applied from a specific time, from let's say only for the month of January, that is from 1st of January to the 31st of January, then only the hold is going to get applied for that specific time. So using these specific scenarios, you can actually place the data on hold. The third one is the e-discovery hold. So when we say e-discovery hold, it is a compliance level feature wherein you can, if you need to get the data in the form of a PST, you can get that data in the form of a PST. And let's say whatever search query you will be performing on one single mailbox, or two mailbox, multiple mailbox, or on all the mailboxes within Office 365, and if you perform a query that I want to retain the emails for five mailboxes starting from 1st of January to 7th of January, and I'd like to get a hold applied on all these mailboxes. So automatically there would be an organization wide e-discovery hold which would get applied to that specific query, and whichever those five users would try to delete that emails from 1st of January to 7th of January, they'll not be able to do that. They'll feel that they are actually deleting the email, but the emails are actually going to get stored onto the other container, which I've told you, the recoverable items container, which is a non-IPM subtree. So users would think that the data is deleted, but in real time the data is actually not deleted. It is simply being put to hold on a compliance level basis. And to add it, the most important role, the Microsoft 365 retention policies, that is the retention policies being getting in applied from the security and compliance main portal, and these policies are being set on an organization wide level, wherein you can apply it on different objects or services like OneDrive, SharePoint, Exchange. You can include whichever mailboxes you'd like to get it included to, and you can apply the action, whether you'd like to delete it, you'd like to retain it, and stuff. Now how to get these checked, I tell you that, but let's say, let me quickly walk you through this hold type. So let's say if I'd be applying any hold, you see this, a retention policy to an exchange mailbox. So if you would see in this value, this is the grid which would be getting and applied to that mailbox, and that would again be an organization wide policy. So whenever we see MBX, MB over here represents mailbox. Similarly, if we would be applying the mailbox policy to a group, GRP would be the one which would be getting and applied, and all these numbers after the colon, which denotes a specific thing, like say number 2, number 3. So these thing denotes these identifications in over here. So this 2 was being seen for this specific mailbox. Now what does that means? Indicates that the retention policy is configured to hold items. The policy does not delete items after, does not delete the item after the retention period gets expired. So what does this means is that it is simply going to place that data on hold, and the policy does not delete the item even, I doesn't delete the items after the retention hold expires. So as per this policy, that is a centralized organization wide policy. Let's say if I've applied the policy that do not retain the data, or let's say delete the data after 2 years. So once 2 years gets completed, as per that mailbox level policy, it was supposed to get deleted, but because I've applied a organization wide policy that is set to number 2, even if that tag is applied, it is not, this policy is applied, because on that mailbox level policy, this organization wide policy is going to take the precedence, and despite it is supposed to get deleted after 2 years, but since this policy is applied, it is not going to allow to delete the data. This is what it means. And similarly, these number means up over here indicates that the retention policy is configured. So whenever we say 1, so the policy is applied to delete items. and it would never retain your data. And if it is set to 3, indicates that the retention policy is configured to hold items. So firstly it would hold it, let's say for 2 years, and if you have selected for 2 years, after that this policy is going to automatically delete the items even after the retention period is over. So that is what it has been all explained on this policy, and this is all from my side for this session. So now I'll going to quickly show you the retention policy which I was talking about, and there it is. So these are the retention policies which gets in configured from the security and compliance portal, and if I click on edit, this one would simply load the policy and it would be showing you the brief description about these policy over here, as if what does this policy does, whether it is enabled or not enabled, and this only gets in applied to exchange, and the retention action is set to keep the items forever. Okay, now if I need to edit this, I need to click on this edit button, I need to click next. So this one would be set to static. If you would be having the policies getting in configured for SharePoints and OneDrive, then you can select this adapter, because every now and then the policies for your personal or your SharePoint site gets in updated. So for those contact bases, you have this option as adaptive. You can select it to static, which means that this actions would only be set. And if you see this, I have just turned this on for Exchange services, not for SharePoint, OneDrive, groups, Skype, or for public folders with Exchange. And you can, if you would not be selecting this one single recipient, automatically whichever recipients you would be having across your organization, all of them would be getting in applied to this. So I need to check as which is the recipient which has this policy. It is simply saying loading over here, which means that it is getting it loaded. So once this page gets loaded, we'll be able to see, okay, so this is my mailbox on which I have applied this retention policy, which means all of them are independent, and only the policy is going to get applied on this specific shared mailbox. So whichever action which is being set within the policy, that action is going to shared on this one. You can also exclude this. Since there's only one user right now, I can select multiple, post which I'll be able to exclude someone from this policy in case if I need to delete the mailbox or stuff. So once retention policy is applied to this mailbox, irrespective of whatever you do, even if you try to remove the mailbox, because policy is applied to this mailbox, and that is as retain the items, it is not it would also not being allowing you to delete that mailbox. Why? Because we have set this policy on, which is an organization wide policy. And see what does this says, the items action is being set to retain items forever, which means that yes, your items are going to get retained forever, and this is what it means. And you can simply check this is the review event, and you can finish this. Now let's quickly check this with the PowerShell command in over here as well. So unlike if you see, I have just kept my previous mailbox, that is my mailbox, the user mailbox. So let's say if I need to check in with which mailboxes have hold, so the moment I'll be clicking on hold, it is wherever the keyword hold comes into the picture, it is going to give me all those parameters in over here. So if you see, litigation hold enabled for my mailbox, so yes, for my mailbox litigation hold is enabled. If you see retention hold, the one which we just discussed, this hold talks about mailbox level, and this policy in over here is the organization policy, because this is for the entire organization. No matter I have just applied it for that shared mailbox as one recipient, but it would still be considered as an organization wide policy, and this one would be a mailbox level hold. Okay, and then you see litigation hold date, when did I enable litigation hold, who is the owner for the litigation hold, and these are different tags, compliance tag, delay hold. So what is this delay hold? Delay hold is whenever your mailbox is put to litigation hold, and let's say if someone manually tries to set this to false, meaning manually tries to disable litigation hold, or even if the date reaches that I've just set it to 1 week, that just enabled the hold for 1 week, and after that remove the hold, so automatically this value would set to false, and automatically as it is set to false, then the delay hold gets in applied by default, and it gets in turned on. okay, and it is turned on for 30 days. It is just to prevent and preserve your mailbox from deletion, accidental deletion, okay. So whenever litigation hold is set to false, automatically your delay hold gets in applied to true once it is turned to off. You can set this to off using the PowerShell window, okay. And this is all about the in place hold we were talking about. If there is any hold, if I would be using e-discoveries hold, okay, or any such holds, and if I would be applying this hold, so this is again an organization level hold which we would not be able to see in over here. You remember in the PowerPoint I showed you that those numbers 1, 2 and 3, but since I have not included this mailbox under the under the global retention policy, it is not going to give me the data. So what I would do is I would just uh, replace my name with the shared mailbox and with the same hold to check as if what all things are applied to it. Now you see this, everything for this is turned on, and this, compare this, because that mailbox has a global retention policy. So you see the number which is there, which is being set to 2, and this is a mailbox level hold, which means number 2 says that irrespective of whatever content, whatever number I've set, that even if I would be setting a number that remove delete the contents after 2 years, but this number says that this content is going to stay forever, meaning whenever we see the number with 2, it simply means that retain the data forever. And with this way, so even if someone would try to remove this mailbox with the help of graphical user interface or through PowerShell as well, by using the command remove hyphen mailbox, and even if you would try to use the force parameters as hyphen force, it is not going to get deleted. It would tell us that I'll not be able to delete this because I see that on this mailbox an organization wide policy is applied, and I'll not be able to remove it. Either you need to skip through this policy, or you need to remove this person, this mailbox, this object from this policy. So once that policy is completely removed for this user, then I'll be able to remove that data. So we all do this in order to secure our mailbox's data, okay. I believe this is all from the retention policy. And similarly, you can also apply the litigation hold from here. I can just tell you, show you that option. From, you see, user isn't under litigation hold. So if you click on mailboxes features, and if you click on litigation hold, it says as enabled. You see view details. So this is the level for numbers. So I've enabled this for 23,000 days. I honestly don't know how much that means. I have to divide that using 365, so I'll be able to get the number for how much year it is being deployed for. So this is the duration, okay. This is the duration which we can set it in days, and this is the status for that litigation hold. If I need to disable this, I need to click on this disable option, or I can easily get it done with the help of the PowerShell command by set hyphen mailbox identity this, then hyphen litigation hold enabled. I need to change it from dollar true to dollar false or vice versa, and it would get removed. So this is it from my side for this session. If you have any other questions for me to answer, feel free to contact me on info@alifconsulting.com. And that is all. You guys take care of yourself and you stay safe. Have a good day. Bye bye.